The one instruction from the FBI is you can't break the law.
In 2009, Ty Schlobohm risked everything. He was a happily married father of two, making a good living as an investment banker in Minnesota. But then he stumbled upon one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in the state's history.
I, by luck or by circumstance, was inserted into this scheme.
Then money manager, now convicted felon, Trevor Cook told investors he was running a risk-free foreign currency trading program.
There's no risk, riskless transactions. So we do not lose our clients' money because of this methodology.
In fact, more than 900 investors lost nearly $160 million in what turned out to be a massive fraud.
I did it because I thought it was safe. Little did I know, it's all gone. Everything is gone. I've lost everything.
The government accused Cook of running a Ponzi scheme out of this Minneapolis mansion. In August, Cook struck a plea deal, admitting to 1 count of mail fraud and 1 count of tax evasion. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison. But nearly 6 months after we first reported this story, Schlobohm surfaced as the focal point of just how this Ponzi scheme came crashing down.
Would you say you are the person that brought the government's eyes onto Trevor Cook and this operation?
Unequivocally, yes. Had I not been involved, maybe this fraud would have lasted another 6 months, another year, another 5 years. I don't know.
Schlobohm's curiosity was first piqued as a potential investor when he heard about the purported $4.5 billion investment fund.
I was brought over to the mansion, introduced to Trevor, had a very introductory meeting about the strategy.
Take me into that meeting.
I'm largely unimpressed just by the lack of infrastructure. The basement of this mansion was almost out of a set of the boiler room. But it didn't look like anything was largely happening. But I spent an hour with him, heard the strategy. It sounded like pure alchemy.
Our technology can move billions and billions of dollars, and we've cracked the millisecond actually last year.
Did you buy any of it?
I didn't. The irony was that he often quoted Madoff. During his presentations to me, he said, these returns are so consistent that they must look like I'm running a Ponzi scheme. That's how brazen he was. So I came to the conclusion that this probably was a shenanigan, but it would be best just to walk away, if not run away from it.
But he didn't.
I was walking down the steps of the Van Dusen, and in the first floor, there had to be 20 to 25 potential investors, which were all gray-haired, 60 to 80-year-old women, married couples, and such.
That's where your conscience kicked in.
My conscience said, you have to do something about it. I was walking away from a mugging. I had to shake the hand of a family from Texas that had brought their kids up there to see what the patriarch of the family had invested their nest egg in. And I'm standing next to Trevor, and he's telling him about their college educations and where they want to go. And I'm just sitting and just ripping my guts out because I want to tell the guy, pull your money or don't put your money in.
Schlobohm says he quickly called the FBI and financial regulators, leaving voicemails for all.
I'm in Minneapolis. I'm pretty sure I just stumbled over a Ponzi scheme. I have a great deal of material that I could email you, notes, things of that nature. Call me back. Here's my number.
So who called you back?
No one, initially.
A month later, though, he says the FBI called him in for a meeting, asking him to wear a wire. He agreed.
I would be sent there to record presentations. I tried to engender the team there that I was too a scumbag or a criminal.
You tried to get in with Cook.
I tried to get in. I made it clear that I was a bad boy.
3 months passed with Schlobohm feeding information to the feds.
Were you paid by the FBI?
No. I was offered money and I turned it down.
The FBI would not comment, but the U.S. Attorney's Office says Schlobohm assisted in the investigation and commended his cooperation.
But I became furthermore frustrated in the timeline. I didn't know where my boundaries were in terms of saying, let's go, guys, let's go.
Did you ever say that to the FBI? You got to stop it now?
Yeah. I said, what do we need? Do you need the smoking gun?
And?
Do you need more material on why and where and when the SEC needs to come in? To this date, I've never spoken to the SEC.
The SEC says it has no record of any contact from Schlobohm prior to its investigation. But the SEC did later file a civil suit against Cook, and Schlobohm admits the government can't do it all.
I think the owners lies on the private sector to be proactive in policing their own industry. The regulators shouldn't always be the fall guy. I think they're failing us in what we're asking them, but what we're asking them is unfair.
Unfair?
Unfair to interpret and anticipate crimes.
In the end, Schlobohm had to give up his job as a result of being an informant, but still, he has no regrets.
I definitely would do it again.
In New York, Poppy Harlow reporting.